Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and I'm hanging out with all these fine nerds. And I totally caught them all by surprise because Ted started a conversation right before we went live. But that's okay. I had you guys all muted still. So we're gonna play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. With that, I'm gonna throw it to our awesome dungeon master, Steven Partridge.
Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to Ashes of Ardor. Before we get started, couple quick things. A couple beats we need to hit. Speaking of beats, music, we love Syrinscape. They're great. We do sound effects. We use Syrinscape. It helps be immersive and whatnot. Also, this is a dark fantasy game, so bear in mind that there will be some horror elements involved. If that's not your jam, that's cool. Just be aware of that going in. And last little bit of announcement before we get into our recap. Doug is going to be guesting on Quill and Sword this Thursday on my Twitch channel, and then the following Monday it will post here on YouTube on the Quill and Sword channel. So super excited for that. And with that being said, we're going to dive into our recap, which I'm going to roll a die for. And that's Ted.
Yeah, and I really don't have much that I can remember. I know, we had started off the session fleeing the Dwarven city. I don't remember the name. I apologize. And it was all in conversations with the dwarves and the Dwarf King. There was, a whole combat that some of the dwarves had apparently been injured and were getting ready to change into boggarts, and we had to try and make the snap decision to save as many as we could. Possibilities of avalanche. But for, more details, I'll throw it over to whoever else wants it.
I'll tell you. Essentially, that was it. Like, we started off the session. Some of the dwarves had been injured, so they were going to turn into boggles, and then they did turn into boggles. And I know Gortham, the character I'm playing, which is a Path of the Spell Eater Barbarian, also a Minotaur, one of the homebrew classes. We're all playing homebrew classes from Nerdarchy. I guess they're not homebrew at this point. They're third-party publisher classes, right?
They're official third-party stuff.
Yeah, so official. But yeah, so I got to use Rami as a weapon. Rami did really well for the first round, but apparently got coated in vile Umbral Horde blood. Not good for you. Not good for his coat. And so he's probably going to turn into a monster at some point if he hasn't already. Probably gonna have to kick him over the cliff like I did many of the Umbral Horde. And then there were some discussions with the king. We think there's something. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave that for Senta. Go ahead, Robin.
Oh yeah, somebody's been messing around in the king's head. I don't know who it is yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. I also remember when we left off last week, somebody was trying to kidnap me, I think, and I'm definitely biting their hand. Like 100%, that's the thing that's happening, and I have not forgotten that. Doug?
I think Shagos would have been proud of Desatrikos, who really got to stretch his fur last episode and help the dwarven people. The bloody triage situation we had was pretty grim, I thought, with trying to save as many dwarves as we could. But we did quite a lot of them, as I recall. Despite, we're talking like there's thousands of people. But yes, there was a pitch fail against boggarts. And let's see what other notes they have. My note size get progressively smaller as campaigns go on. We had a run-in with the lore keepers, who are like a sect of dwarven...
Bookworm assassins? I don't know.
Yeah, they enforce the proper remembrance of history, and all the dwarves just pretend they don't exist. But Desatrikos had a moment to have a heart-to-heart with the Dwarven King, and, we're now helping lead them to safety. And, when we left off, the Senta had found a bandit's treasure cache. That's what I remember in the last episode. That's where we're at.
Were those lore keepers inspired by any certain states, Stephen?
I will not comment on that. I will say there is nothing new under the sun. So, yes, you guys managed to save the majority of the city of Dwagomere, which is where all of the dwarves called home, and you ended up guiding the bulk of them to a enormous thief castle situation called Falsett's Vigil, and you were welcomed, of course, by Sir Winifred Falsett, who is the this knightly sort of figure. She and her family have held this vigil keep for 10 generations. So, yeah, it used to be a hold of the Warlock Lords, and when one of them was born without magic, her family was instrumental in their downfall. So, hey.
Intriguing.
You guys bedded in the many tents that were situated sort of around the fief and just outside of it, because with such a massive city coming in with refugees aplenty to a much smaller town, barely a town, more like a village, you have found that now it's very crowded and everyone is sleeping in tents for the most part. And Senta, in the middle of the night, you bolted awake with a hand that was clapped over your mouth. You see before you these glowing orange eyes. You see like this almost stony skin, gray in color, with these long horns protruding from the forehead and swooping back. You can see that there seem to be these semi-flared wings that are on this creature as well, and you can feel the whoosh of a tail flicking. You hear this voice whisper, "Stay quiet if you want to."
Like, okay, so my eyes are still visible, right? So I'm just giving him this, like, look.
Okay. That's a Tricos. You wake in a similar fashion. There is a red-skinned humanoid standing over you. She has these horns that actually protrude out and swoop a little bit, but don't go backward. She also has wings and a flicking tail. Gortham, similarly, this one with skin of violet blue and bit bigger proportions. Male, sturdy, and like a braided mohawk, and strong. You awaken with two actually standing over you. They appear to be twins and a bit younger. They both have green skin, and their horns actually, one has a horn on the left, the other has a horn on the right. And all of them give you similar messages.
I'm going to use my beardomancy only to have remain still and calm, but they're just gonna wrap around the person's wrist, just to not tight or anything, just to let them know, like in an attempt to let them know, like, hey, I'm not totally helpless here, but I'm not gonna struggle or try to attack.
Okay. When you do that, she sort of looks and she's like, "Oh, you're full of tricks. That's cool." Anyone who wants to commit perception.
So these are like large winged humanoids that have pretty colors?
Yes.
Only a
all of them
7
have
for
glowing
me.
eyes right now.
Only a 7 for me.
13 for strong.
Sorry, what are we rolling?
Perception.
Oh. I will certainly try. 11.
What did Gortham get?
My character sheet is being a butt right now, and
Oh, no.
and I'm waiting,
Oh, no.
and I'm waiting for it to load. It's coming. It's coming. Before we started, like I was like shutting everything down on my computer, closing Windows. I've never had so few tabs open. That's a 16.
Oh man, I'm a serial closer.
Same.
I'm like Dave. I have stuff open all the time. I have to close down the stream just to, I have too much.
Oh, I just get such a thrill clicking that X button.
So that was a 16. If you get, I don't know if you got that or not.
16, I didn't get that. Okay, so Strawn and Gortham. You hear thudding, very quiet, muffled shouts, and rustling of tents. Senta, your tent flap starts to open, and the humanoid figure leans down and he whispers, "Stay silent." And waves, and he lifts his hands and waves them like this. And when he does, you see as it's almost like the shadows close around you. And you see through the darkness, there is this creature. It has an almost reptilian face, fins along the sides with like ears that almost look like fins as well. And it has a slithering body from the waist down, almost like a serpent, but it also has like fins and gills. And the creature is carrying a trident and a net. And it pokes its head in, and you see this snake-like serpentine tongue flicker. And you hear it in tones, "I smell you."
So I still have a blow dart gun, right?
Mm-hmm, you do.
Can I tap the hand and use it?
Oh yes,
Can I get him to let go?
He let go when he cast his spell.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna blow dart the snake guy.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Cool. 17.
17.
Yes.
That hits. So roll your damage. And that blow dart also has a toxin that's very good at putting people to sleep. And he failed. So this dart, barely whistling in the silence, and it pierces through the fish scales into the neck. And almost instantly, his eyes flutter a little bit, and you see that actually he has multiple eyelids, that one set closes down and the other set closes to the sides, and they flutter for a minute and then just falls in a heap in your tent. And the creature that was standing over you is now dragging the marrow into your tent.
I'm gonna give him the thumbs up, because would have been on that as well, but I'm really glad that he was.
He looks over to you. "I don't know if you trust magic, but I can use it to get us out of here."
Well, generally we're pretty cool with it. He's not, but don't worry about that. He'll play nice. That said, if these guys are doing what I think they're doing to my people, I can't leave.
You'll need to leave immediately. We can rescue them later.
They're not gonna kill them? Word of honor.
On my honor,
Okay.
they will not kill them. They need to use them.
And we'll be able to stop them before that happens.
We should. And so he sort of keeps you close under his wing so that you are held in this area of darkness. And he still kind of sticks to the shadows, and you come upon which tent first? Senta, you choose. Which of your companions are you going to try to rescue first?
Probably Strawn.
Okay,
And, like, I don't mean to play favorites, but...
Okay, so you arrive at Strong's tent, and this gargoyle person opens the tent flap, and he pokes his head inside, and he looks down at you, Strong, and then he looks at the other two. Come, quickly. And they jump off of you and sort of like pseudo-glide in this long jump underneath his wings. And he motions for you to come too.
Well, they're small?
Yes. They're like child size.
Okay, I was envisioning like tieflings.
They are. They're this world's version of tieflings. They're gargoyles.
Okay. So I'll grab my stuff and grab my familiar and everybody else.
Okay. As you slip out of your tent, you notice that one of these marrows that you now notice are swarming through the camp, nearly silently, dragging unconscious dwarves in nets along the ground. It pokes its head in your tent, hisses, and then moves on. Who are you going to next? We'll let Strong pick the next one.
I look the center. This is her this is her place.
Alright, well, if that's the case, then, alright, we're doing evens odds. I don't have okay, Gorkum.
Okay, so you guys go to Gortham's tent. Oh. Gortham, at the same moment that this large, gray-skinned creature pulls your tent open, you see on the opposite end, one of these marrows opens the tent as well, and this large blue gargoyle jumps off and in between you and the marrow. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna grab the gargoyle creature and throw it at the marrow.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You're gonna grab the big one? The one that was just standing over you?
Yeah.
Okay, roll
Gortham
initiative
keeps
for
things
me.
Like you just pushing him forward towards something, basically, so or pushing him forward.
Well, that's only a 7.
7. Okay. So, you grab onto this guy. He actually lets you grab him. And as you stand up and you start to lift him, you realize your tent is very constraining. You can't lift it adequately. Bro.
Yeah, I more or less just want to like shove and turn him sideways
Okay.
in the direction of the marrow.
Just imagining you bowling.
Are you proficient in improvised weapons?
Of course not. No.
Okay, then make a strength check.
All right.
You have advantage because he's trying to go with what you're doing. This one seems to be like a fight.
Well, that helps. That's a 13.
A 13. Okay. So, you shove and he kind of goes with it into this spin, and when he does, his claws jab into the side of this marrow, and it unleashes a loud hiss that's sort of like between a hiss and a roar. And when that happens, you see many of the other marrows take attention, and they immediately begin slithering away with the dwarves in the nets that they have.
Now I'm going to, with my second attack, I'm going to try and grab the marrow
Okay.
and grapple it.
Grappling check.
These freaking dice. That's only a 13.
Oh, you tied.
16 strength.
Oh, you tied. Roll again.
Okay. It's
Come on, Gortham.
a 16.
It got a 12. So you wrestle with this thing, and you got it, and it's like flaring and unflaring its spiky fins, trying to keep you from grabbing it, and you just happen to grab hold just the right way, and you got it now.
Okay, so when I grab it, I want to turn, and I'm going to bonus action slam my head into it, and it has to make a strength saving throw DC 14, I believe. So I slam him back into the tent, like inside the tent.
Okay. Slams inside the tent. And at this point, that's supposed to hear the commotion. And the red tiefling on you because really like to have some fun here, but and
Is she still muffling me?
No, not anymore.
Oh.
She's now leaned off of you when she says this, and she looks at the tendrils on her wrists.
Oh, I'll let those go. I thought she was like, still muffling me. Yeah, I'll let that go. She's moving away.
Okay.
But I'm cautious and I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna sort of hang back and let her do whatever she's gonna do. So I can figure out what's going on.
Okay. You see her fangs smile kind of spread a little bit. Like, how do you feel about this?
Shagos provides me with all that I need. Probably.
Take that as a yes. And she goes like this, and when she does, you see the air tears and glows. And there is now this portal. And you see that when she did that, another one appeared just near the entrance of Gortham's tent. And she's like, if you're coming, come on. And do I see Gortham and his whatever he's struggling with on me? Yes, you do.
Then I will like go into barrel mode and just leap through the portal after her to try and help Gortham. Okay, so you leap through the portal and it closes just as your tail clears it. And you now see Gortham struggling with this arrow. Sentinel.
Well, first of all, how many nets are there?
So the current arrow has one on it.
Okay.
Each arrow has one.
Okay. Does it seem like we're making a lot of noise already? Yes.
Oh yes, and the arrows are largely running away at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I think, is it like, there are still dwarves that have not been taken?
So there are many dwarves that have not been taken. They are able to take nearly all of them.
Okay. I need to go wake at least one of them up to let them know what's happened.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stealth and go do that, and I'll be back.
Okay. So, you stealth off to do that. I need a stealth roll.
Problem. 26. I love rogues.
You just vanish into the shadows, and who needs magic? You're stealthy. And, you run to the nearest tent. Go ahead and give me whatever charisma check appropriate. Persuasion, deception, intimidation.
I'll take persuasion. I actually have a modifier for that.
Okay.
I have inspiration that I will be using now.
Okay.
11.
11. All right. So you appear in this tent of worker from Pest, and he and his wife both just sort of run to grow infernal.
That's okay. I don't think anybody will listen to them anyway. I'll move on to the next one and we can catch up with me next round.
Okay. Scott, what are you doing?
How many Merrow are taking dwarves away?
So there are about 40 arrows taken. The city was a population of 1,000, so they weren't able to take care of all of them. But they still took 7.
How far away are said Merrow?
Currently, they are 120 feet.
Okay.
As the nearest one, and that one is one of the last. So you won't be able to get to all of them, but you might be able to catch a couple of the stragglers.
Right.
that were furthest in.
So what I will do is I will make a make a loud noise, hopefully wake people up. At the same time, act my spell that will hopefully bring some fun.
Fans, fun beam.
No, I'm just trying to do something.
That's a weird thing.
But I'm gonna howl and call forth my wolves.
Okay.
And send them. They can start off 60 away from me.
Okay.
I mean, technically, I could move 30 feet closer to Barrow that are getting away.
Okay.
That gets them 90 feet closer, and they have a speed of 40.
Okay.
You can kind of get on the heels. And I'll just send them after the Barrow. You can roll it out, or you can kind of narrate what's done. I'm hoping that the commotion and the loud will save some dwarves, make some people.
Okay. So are you trying to have like some of them gang up together against one, or are you trying to have them all go after their own?
I'd rather have them if there's enough targets. I would rather have them go after their own to harass Harry. My hopes is either A, wolves kill the Marrow, B, the Marrow feel threatened, drop the dwarves and run, thus saving the dwarves, or they stand and fight, and then more dwarves wake and come and help rescue dwarves. All of these are good options.
Okay. So your wolves can reach 6 total now.
Okay.
And you have how many wolves?
8.
8. Okay, so we will say, since you wanted to wake them as well, one of them is going to try a howl, to try to awaken as many people as possible. Wolf howling in the middle of campus is probably going to get a little situation. Go ahead and make it instead.
No, I'm good with animal handling. Be better at that one. That's going to be a 15.
15. Okay, so this wolf unleashes a howl, and when it does, several of the dwarves begin waking and rustling. Since you realize that a lot of the dwarves that are waking are more on that side of the camp, which is the opposite side of where you are right now.
You know what? That's fine, as long as they see what's going on.
So basically, the ones that are far enough away that you wouldn't be able to reach them are now taking care. But the ones near where you are definitely still could probably use a prompt. And then we're going to go back up to fourth level.
Alright, so, I guess I'm gonna rage while I grapple with this, this Marrow. I just want to hold him. I just starts repeatedly slamming my head into his.
Okay. So you're repeatedly slamming your head and take those attacks. As you're doing that, the wolves that Ron called have now begun picking off the Marrows that they could reach. And they're pouncing on them and keeping them prone.
Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
Okay. So that's 15 points of damage?
15 points of damage. So your head just bashes and this blood splatters all over your forehead. But arrow seems to still be conscious.
I'm gonna hit him again, and I'm also trying to try and subdue. That's a dirty
so
20.
You're not trying to kill him. Wow. Alright. And roll your damage.
Only 11.
11. Okay. You actually get him unconscious. So you smash, and on that second smash, this blood splurts once again from the mouth and nose, and the eyelids flicker in that quadruple sort of way before it slumps again.
I'll snatch the net from it and get up and head outside the tent to see what's going on.
Okay, you see that Strawn's wolves have subdued all but one of the Marrows currently. But the one that is not subdued is being kept up with. And, Message Recos, what are you doing?
So I'm in the tent with the two gargoyles, the one that got me and the one that came for Gortham, and he's fighting a Marrow, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's just repeatedly got a grapple and bashing in the head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab the red-skinned horned tiefling that came in my tent by the arm and say, "What is transpiring here?"
Okay. Long and short of it, the Marrows are stealing. You don't know for what.
Well, we just saved these people. I'm inclined to want to help them. Who are you? What are you? How are you mixed up?
My name is Aulmn. I'm one of the guardians of all of us are. Want to try to catch them? It'd be fun, but it might be a little scary.
I'll snarl and just bolt out the door on all fours towards the nearest one.
Okay. Will you let her grab you?
No.
Okay, so she tries to swoop and grab you, misses, and then says, "Okay, you're lost." And you see her throw her hand out. And when she does, there's like this pyrotechnic burst behind her, and it works almost like a rocket that sends her into a spiral so that she manages to catch up with the others.
Okay.
They already love her.
And,
I use my movement and my action to move as much as I can.
okay. Alright, you can definitely do that. You are, what is your movement?
35, so it'd be 70 altogether.
Okay, you can reach the last Marrow if you dash. So that you are now, like, on pace with it. So that next time you should be able to catch it.
Okay.
And Strawn's wolf is also-
do I pass her? Or how far did she?
She's right there with you.
Oh, so I'm just like going on all fours, like kind of looking over her, like that. Just...
Okay. Yeah, she kind of looks at you, gives you a wink, and she's like, "Okay." And so then you see the twins kind of look at each other, and the one says, "Okay, Flick," and the other one says, "All right, Tick." And they grab you, and when they do, they start throwing each other through these portals that start bouncing them toward that same Marrow. And, Senta, what are you doing?
I'm looking for either a blue or an orange. Those are the ones that are most likely to have ranged attacks.
Okay, you actually find that the oranges have set up hammocks in the trees above to make space for them. And they don't seem to have been spotted or touched yet by the Marrows.
Awesome.
And you also see a Marrow that utterly fails her stealth check and has noticed and is now trying to swing the neck up to this orange orb about 20 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and attack that Marrow first, because it's more important before I try to wake up the oranges.
Okay. You can shout when you put to if you want to try to hit them.
That's a good plan, yes. Alright, that's a 22 to hit.
Okay, that absolutely.
For 23 damage.
23 damage. Describe how you incapacitate or otherwise infect.
Like, I noticed that the gargoyles didn't seem too keen on killing them, but frankly, they're stealing my people, so I'm just gonna drive the dagger up through, like, the soft palate of the chin,
Okay.
give it a sharp twist, and, go lethal.
Okay. When you do that, she reaches out as though she's trying to call for something, and you hear this, and blood pours out of her mouth as she slugs. And you see that where she was pointing, the shadows had begun coalescing and sort of.
Okay, that's good to know.
And go ahead and also make a intimidation check.
Which I am not proficient in. I don't know why I didn't take it. No.
What'd you get?
I got a 3, and I have no modifier.
Oh, okay. So even though you were shouting, it seems like they're really heavily asleep, or it's entirely possible too that someone could have slipped something in their food when dinner time rolled around, because everybody was sharing. And Scott, what are you doing?
Are there any marrows still within proximity?
There are only the ones. There are only the marrows that are dead or otherwise taken care of, because Sekta got the last one that was still trying to get somebody. And there is the one left that your hope is on. He also has Desatricos and Hope on him, and the twins are almost dead.
So I'll move to the dwarves that are in nets and kind of begin trying to help them. I don't know if they're still asleep or whatnot. I can begin doing what I can for them. Whether it's cutting them out of the nets, whether it's medicine check to try to get them to wake, whatever it is I need.
Okay. All right. So when you go to do that, you notice that the nets are actually silver. And
I'll make sure they're not left behind.
they seem to be reinforced with something. So, and breaking, but magic.
As in magic damage, or as in... Would I be able to... Would I be able to hold up pitch and use produce flame on it?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to damage it as little as possible.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen silver nets before.
You would have, but they're normally only by your order for capturing monsters, specifically creatures of the upper board, or otherwise. And you notice when you roll for your flame immediately ignites this thing, and you can control it so that it burns a little bit or as much as you want.
Careful, try to get the people out of the nets. Allow the nets to still be usable to some degree.
Okay, roll a d4. How many words you walking?
The die is not nice one.
Okay, so the first net proves a little difficult because you're not used to using silvered. You're not used to using fire to burn silvered nets, so it's just a little bit awkward. But you get the rhythm of it. But you should be able to get all the rest of it. Awesome. And you see that the blue one is charging right along beside you. While you're running, it's flying. And he pulls out this mace and a shield.
Well, as soon as I can get close to one of these critters, I want to throw the net at it. One of the marrow.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and make a ranged attack. Right, for dexterity.
How close can I get?
You can get, what is your speed?
40.
40. You can get within 10 feet.
Okay. Let's see. I think. Let's see. I got. Might have. Oh, you know what? That was last round. All right, we'll throw. It's going to be at disadvantage, I believe, because that is just out of range. So that is going to be a What is our? So that's a 15 plus 3. So that's 18 to hit.
Okay. So you get an 18 to hit. That definitely hits.
All right.
I just adjusted the music a little, so it's a little bit quieter. Hopefully that helps.
Oh, I could always turn it down on my end.
Yeah. I hope I'm also loud enough. They said I was a little quiet.
Yeah, the one week I noticed like halfway through that the music was really quiet, so then I have it cranked down. I just turned it down a little bit. Sorry, folks. Yeah. So I guess it's in a net now.
Okay, it is in a net. So you have trapped this marrow. And Strawn, your wolf is looking to you for a command, because it is now pounced on top of it. It can kill it.
Sorry, I was muted. I would say go for it. I don't
Okay.
want to kill steal if other party members are going after. So I'm okay with the wolf assisting an ally.
Okay, so the wolf just bites the face off of this thing. You hear bones, scales crunching, and the squishing of this meat. And the thing at first screams until it burbles and explodes. And there is no thrashing happening. And the rest of the marrows seem to have gotten away. And you guys are now left in a camp of dwarves that are panicked, confused. You hear screams of certain names. People looking for those who are now missing.
Alright. So, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna, start, again, tapping, specific people from different colors that I think are gonna be able to help calm people down the best.
Okay. Make a persuasion roll. Are you changing your colors in the process?
I'm generally when I'm doing this, I am going with my usual, my original opal color.
Okay. So you will have advantage with that roll then.
21.
21. Okay. So you very quickly mobilize the dwarves to begin helping one another out. You see several of the blues start donning armor, assisted by the oranges. The amount of togetherness and working together here is, well, it would be astounding for anyone who wasn't, because you know that their society just sort of works together. Very efficient.
I'm also going to pull at least one blue and one orange to bring over with us to talk to the gargoyles about what's going on, because they seem to know what the marrow are doing and where they're going.
Okay.
I'm gonna drag over the one in the net and the unconscious one over to that group, and hurl them into the center of the group.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
two.
I do.
um,
2 hands, 2 horns, 2 hooves, 2 marrow.
So you get this blue dwarf, and she has this coarse black hair pulled back into this bun that's very large, and you see an orange who he has just this very short, spiky cut hair and vivid black, almost blue, and you lead these two over to the rest of the group, and Gortham tosses an unconscious, bloody-faced marrow limply into the center of everyone.
And I've got a netted one as well.
Okay.
That I throw on top of the unconscious one.
Good thinking on the off chance that we need to ask them questions. Thank you, Gortham.
Oh, I just wanted to beat them up some more later and make fun of them. And I thought you might want to as well.
No, that can also be on the docket.
The gray gargoyle looks down, looks to all of you. I don't know where you came from, but when we awakened, you were here, and we wanted to warn you. We noticed you seemed to be the leader of this group. joined you too late.
We'll get them back. It'll be fine. Just we need to know where they're going, and we need to mobilize as quickly as possible because they know we know now, which means they're going to be in a hurry.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, this isn't a new occurrence around here. I'm Victor, by the way.
Senta.
He offers you a hand.
I shake it.
This is Flick and Tick, and he motions to these two green-skinned child gargoyles. Each of them has a swooping black mohawk, one swooping one direction opposite the horn, the other swooping opposite the other horn. He points...
I apologize.
No, you go ahead.
Do they actually have like stone-like skin, or are they called gargoyles because they're off-colored and have horns?
So their scales look almost like a stony texture, but they do, you would know, being a Circle of the Stone Druid, I'm not going to make you roll. You know that gargoyles are afflicted by magic that causes them to petrify whenever they sleep, and they tend to be generally nocturnal. You also know that they can illuminate their eyes, they can boom their voice, they can even have a limited range of telepathy for like opening doors or snuffing and lighting flames, all sorts of weird creepy stuff, historically being that they were once tied to the infernal plane. And
so they turn to stone when they sleep?
Yes. They literally petrify every night or every morning.
Alright, I don't want to get too meta here, but have I ever interacted with one? Circle of Stone Druids have the ability to remove the petrified condition, and I absolutely would have tried that if I would have met one before.
Absolutely. In fact, you would know that one of the heads of your particular circle, one of the sort of greats that was one of the founders of your magic in this world, her name is Grace, and she herself is a gargoyle. And she sort of used that as a basis for the magic that she then mastered in herself and taught others.
Okay.
So, yeah, you see the twins sort of like look at you, particularly Strawn, quite fondly, and they just kind of gravitate toward hanging around where you are. You notice that Flick, the boy, tends to mimic a lot of your stances and mannerisms as you make them. Victor points to the red-skinned gargoyle. This is Hope. And she winks at Desatricos, and then just runs a hand through her short-cropped black hair. And then he nods to the blue-skinned one who's like built but also bulky, and he's standing beside Gortham, and he says, "That one there's Potch."
Thanks for the assist, Potch. That was fun. We should do that again.
You know, you're pretty good yourself, especially with that head of yours. And he kind of like motions and then offers you a rag. You got a little, and he points to the giant blood splatter on your forehead.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
He just reaches up and picks a scale out of your fur and like flicks it away. Victor looks to all of you and he says, the Marrow have been coming to this village for months now, culling only ever a few at a time. Usually whoever's furthest out. And unfortunately for the past 2 weeks it's been with Sir Winifred's blessing. As a sort of treaty asking travelers to come, and then they are among those offered, and they probably, these arrows, presumed that your people were among that. We don't know why they're taking them, only that they are.
But you said these nets are lined with silver, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is weird. As I poked the net.
Are they marked in any way? What our nets that they had, were they emblazoned in any way, shape, or form?
These are not your nets.
Okay.
You can tell just by the craftsmanship and the way they're woven. These are woven in a hex pattern, and yours use a square pattern.
Why would these creatures silver nets if they're going after normal folk?
I mean,
that is a good question.
It does kind of scream Umbral Horde. Huh.
The Umbral Horde wouldn't use silver nets. Silver bothers them.
No, to use against the Umbral Horde. But also, if you wanted to turn someone into the Umbral Horde and control them after you did, perhaps wrapping them in a silver net might be a way to go.
So do we know where they're going?
It wouldn't be hard to track them. The problem for us lies in the fact that when we have tracked them, it takes us near to dawn before we find where they are. And by then we need to get back, or else, well, if we end up falling asleep, we turn to stone. Vulnerable.
Well, that is not the case for us. Kind of lightly scratch at the stone on my face.
For the rest of the dwarves.
What were you gonna say, Dave?
I nudged the one in the net with my hoof. Well, we could ask this fella.
We certainly could. He looks at the two, the twins, and they sort of like look at you guys and say, "Better cover your ears." And they give each other like a high five, and when they do, you hear this piercing screech like nails on a chalkboard amplified, and the marrow bolts awake. What?
Hi!
Be a prisoner.
Is
that what this is?
Why are your people taking the dwarves?
Why would we take the dwarves? We don't want to take the dwarves. They were just who was offered to us.
What is the purpose in taking people?
To fight for us. As father.
It seems like Gortham was right about one thing.
Where are you taking me?
To our cove.
Wait a minute, you mean like water? I don't think dwarves breathe underwater very well.
No, they don't. That's why we have our mages. Imbue it upon them.
Oh, that makes sense. Why the silver nets?
They are the same nets used to fight the Upper Horde.
Do you even know which of us are good at fighting?
Well,
in our opinion, most of you are very bad at it.
Well, that's not untrue, but that's only because, you know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter. It seems like you guys are having a problem, and that's going to need solved too, but this is not the way to do it.
I'll look apologetically at Destrikos, and then I'll look to Gortham and Senta. I don't like these creatures. And I'll say in Dwarven, I don't like these creatures. But if they're legitimately fighting the Umbral Horde, could we, as opposed to going and slaughtering them all, offer up some kind of truce, teach them the green flame?
I'm nodding along with that, and I'm like, okay, actually, can I go ahead and cast telepathic bond? I want to include our 4 party members. I can get up to 8, so I will also include Victor and then the blue and orange that came with me to this meeting.
Okay.
Tick and flick.
I think she
No,
meant
the dwarves.
Oh.
Dwarves.
Flick and Tick are the green twins.
Mm-hmm.
So,
agree.
because that will stay in place no matter how far away we get from them, so we'll still know what's going on here once we leave to handle this. And I'm going to repeat what Strawn just said to me over the link, and add that I agree with this assessment. The Umbral Horde needs to be dealt with in all of its guises wherever we can find it. That is what our purpose is, first and foremost. And if it gets the dwarves out at the same time, then that is our best bet for handling this situation.
I think this Sir Winifred needs a reckoning too. She's letting this happen. Your people won't be safe here, even if we deal with this now.
I agree.
I imagine this is probably a scenario of, hey, you let us take some people, and we'll keep the Umbral Horde off your doorstep.
That is exactly what it is.
So, well, you know, while they're kind of doing the telepathic thing, I'm gonna like squat down, like sit on my haunches in front of this Murrow at eye level. So, how many different kind of people have you tried using in the fight?
Tried many. Some end up telling us they are capable craftsmen or other trades that are useful. We put them to work in their respective fields. No reason to put in danger those who could better serve making things for us.
But you don't give them a choice.
If we did, we would be wiped out, and even more of our number would be forced into the Umbral Horde.
Right.
We are finding a solution that benefits everyone.
What if there was another solution?
We would be more than open. I don't think you understand. We take no pleasure in the death of others. But if lives must be sacrificed, it is better to sacrifice those whom we do not know.
So as he's saying this, I'll pull forth I'll cast Produce Flame and pull forth the green fire. Do you know what this is?
That is the fabled flame. Our priestess once lit it.
What happened?
Drew from its power.
What happened?
She died, and her grandson could not bear magic.
You said you have mages.
Yes, but only the worthy may touch the sacred stone.
There are many in this world who feel that magic is wrong. I am not anywhere near that building. Yes, I wrote.
I was gonna say silently, like over the telepathic bond, the sacred stone sounds like a piece of the shell that we're putting back together.
Perhaps.
I don't think you've got a lot of room to be choosy right now.
I'm not thrilled with your people kidnapping. I am very much interested in forming alliances, especially when we have a common enemy. How much clout do you have with your people? Are you high ranking or are you somewhere down below?
If I were not high ranking, I would not have been trusted with this mission.
So, I look to the rest of you. I feel you could put us in touch with your leaders. We could perhaps negotiate and find a way that would benefit all and stop you from needing to keep taking others.
It's also worth noting that if you are just throwing people into the Umbral Horde to fight against them, all you're doing is getting them turned and beating the Horde. This is not a smart way to handle this.
And what can we do?
We'll show you.
Sorry, what were we gonna say, Doug?
Never mind.
Okay. So, at this point, I'm going to insert a GM intrusion that will affect all of you. So everyone gets an inspiration point. As a dart whistles through the air and gets this marrow in the eye. And the eye begins necrotizing with this black veins almost immediately. And he falls over with blood now leaking out of his nose. And he is dead.
I am going to kick somebody's ass as soon as I figure out who's causing this.
Make an investigation roll.
I will assist.
I will cover the other marrow with
Okay.
my body to shield them.
Y'all can
Okay.
feel my frustration here, like, just over that telepathic link. That's going to be a 14.
14. Okay, so all of the gargoyles take a defensive stance, yet you manage to see in between their bodies that have kind of taken guarding positions to shield all of you. And you can see underneath the wings of Victor, there is a white cloak that flutters behind one of the tents.
That's not surprising. Okay. So, again, I don't think that it's incredibly smart of them to be throwing untrained people against the Umbral Horde, and I don't think it would be incredibly smart of us to do that either. So, what I want from you two, and I turn to the blue and the orange that came with me, is to go among your respective people, set up whatever defenses you need to here, and be aware that this is going on and that there could be more of it coming. Make sure Sir Winifred doesn't go anywhere, and we'll go handle this and be back. And if something happens to us, you will know because you're looped into the telepathic network now.
Understood. And the blue one, she salutes you. And the orange one meets your eyes and gives you a meaningful nod.
I nod back.
And they both head off in a hurry to do.
But we should also know if anything goes wrong here when it happens. So,
Yep.
Is it Sir Winifred first, or is it Sparrow creatures first?
the marrow first.
Yeah, there's people we might be able to rescue some of those ones. And who knows who else they might already have captured.
And I'm gonna say over the telepathic link, try not to let on that we know that she's shady.
Not able to lie. Victor looks you in the eyes.
That's okay, just don't talk to her.
It will be very difficult.
You're the only one that knows we know.
Correct, and you were very wise enough.
So send them to speak to her if someone needs to.
Santa. I look over my shoulder, laying across this marrow. The not that one. The next time I see one of those whites, I'm going to cleave it with my axe. I don't even care if it's the one shooting the blow darts.
I
I'm
have a
just
feeling
gonna
that
keep
they're all
cutting.
involved.
I'm just gonna keep cutting until I run out of them. Sorry.
Maybe that isn't the best way to handle it, but I promise you there'll be at least one.
Like they're, seems like they've got a hard stone.
God damn it, Strawn.
Hey, I have an actually done one of those in a couple of sessions.
Hey, it is
Get it out there,
fair.
get it out
I
there.
always love them. So
I gotta make sure it fits in with the conversation.
oh, of course. So you set them to work. Victor excuses himself, telling the others he needs to meditate. And he then flies off. And Senta, you would know that while this is a misleading statement, it must be true.
Right.
You and Strana and Dasatrikos, because all three of you are kind of magical, I will just give to you that you would know that anyone with infernal heritage or anything that is of a truly extraplanar nature are incapable of lying.
Right, because demons and fairies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
Yep. Anything that has native blood to this plane can lie, and that's sort of one of the special things about them. So with that, he flies off, leaving you with the others, and it seems that Hope is sort of second in command here, and she rallies the others to begin taking positions to guard the rest of the dwarves, since they clearly seem largely incapable of guarding themselves, except for the blues. Of note, you notice that the blues and the oranges were almost entirely untouched. And those that were seem to be defending themselves pretty well.
That's good. Yeah, like my thought was that like even if the oranges don't end up in direct combat, they do know how to shoot because they know how to hunt. So they could like position themselves up high and like pick things off if they need to.
They need to make sure a watch is set. They need to make sure everyone is guarded.
Okay. And just before you finish heading out, or before you finish assigning people, excuse me, actually it'll probably be Flick and Tick will look at Strawn and they'll say, be careful, because beyond here is marshland until you get to the lake.
Okay. Is there anything I know about the marshland that would be a problem?
Well, you know, aside from the many dangers that could potentially be there regarding, like, you know, exploding gas or monsters, there is mud and murk, which tend not to allow for floating very well for certain types of people, including Sentas.
We got a guide. And I dragged the net.
So is it a serious problem for Santa?
Well, dwarves have disadvantage swimming in this world because they have rocks in them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
How big is said marsh?
The marsh, are you asking the two little ones?
Yes.
So they look at one another. At least a couple acres.
Take more than an hour to cross it?
Oh, yes. We can't ever get across it before dawn. Or rather, we could hit dawn and get across it, and then we'd be sitting statuary.
Or sinking. Stone is heavy.
Yes.
I could give you an hour's worth of travel. It would make things a little bit easier. Or, you know, possibly several of you.
Our place is guarding the keep.
What was that?
Our place is guarding the keep.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about for Senta.
Oh, for Senta.
Oh, I was just gonna see if I could hitch a ride on Gortham.
We don't know how you feel about magic, but
Me?
any of you.
Oh, I don't really like it very much.
But the rest of us are chill.
People don't. Most people don't like it. And Flick reaches into a pouch that she has on her belt, and she holds it up to Strawn and says, "We only have one, but it might prove useful."
What is it?
It is a ring of aquatic adaptation, which lets you have water breathing and a swimming speed equal to your current speed.
I am quite fond of magic. Dabbled in several different varieties. So, I actually have identified. If you need me to actually guess it, if they don't actually tell me what it is.
They'll tell you what it does. So you don't have to worry about using the spell slot. You may just know that that is what it does.
So, which of us do we feel needs this the most?
Probably in the most danger of drowning, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. I will hold it out to you.
I will nod and thank you.
If I get too stuck, I can always pop out to a safer place.
So do you put it on?
Yeah.
Okay, when you put it on, the rest of you hear what sounds like bones crunching. And Senta, you feel like this sharp pain very briefly. And your neck begins to open up, and your skin actually tears open and forms gills on your neck. And you feel that any area where you have exposed skin begins to manifest like these vibrant scales that also create fins. And this webbing starts trying to poke through in between your fingers, shoving your gloves off.
It's an interesting thing that the thing that gives you the like this stuff is a ring. You would think
It
that
actually
it would push
looks,
that off too.
It actually looks like the ring has burrowed into your skin right there and has sort of enacted it.
Oh, that had better come off later.
One might think that a bracelet would be better served for that type of purpose.
And yeah, you now have aquatic adaptation, which lets you breathe underwater and you have swimming speed. So you don't have to worry about sinking because you swim now. So what are you guys doing? Do you need to make any more preparations, or do you want to head into the swamp, or are you doing something else?
Well, were we awoken in the middle of the night? I mean, so
Yep.
like I hadn't rested. I had nothing.
So you guys did get the benefits of a long rest,
Oh, okay.
but it is nighttime.
Right.
I imagine, we'll do some kind of meal. And make sure we're all prepped and ready to go.
Okay. All right. So you guys take that time to eat a meal, getting your strength back and built up a little bit for this hike through the mud and murk. And yeah, you guys set out into this swampy, marshy area.
And none of the gargoyles are coming with us, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
None of the
It's just
gargoyles
us.
are coming with you. They are standing guard.
The four of us and the marrow.
Yep. The marrow introduces himself as Athros, though he tends to hold the TH and the S along a little bit longer. And do you free him from the net, or how do you expect him to guide you?
I would be okay with it, but I think that's Cortham's call.
Yep.
Put him in the net.
Okay.
Does he seem like he's gonna play nice is my question.
Make an insight check.
Okay.
I will do that as well. Ooh, did not roll so high.
18.
Insight is only 13.
13. Senta, you intuit that when he speaks, he is sincere. He says, if you truly offer hope for us to not have to fear the Umber Horde, then my trident is yours.
So I will look up to Gortham. I'm going to say, my best counsel for you is that I do not believe that he is going to cause us any trouble if we allow him to lead us where we're going, and we may get there faster if we do let him out. But it is very much your call.
Well, I'm not usually in the catcher on a leash, but I'll make an exception. And the other guy he seemed pretty amicable, and we both agree most people cannot fight. With that, I'll release him from the net.
Okay.
And offer him his net back.
So he leaves the net surprisingly skillfully, actually. And he takes it from you. You have a warrior's heart. Respect. And his tongue just sort of flicks a little bit as he gives you like a head dip, Gortham.
I'll tip my horns in his direction. Sorry about your companion. Those assassin dwarves they're really starting to tick me off. Do you know how many people I've captured and they've killed now? This is like the 5th one.
That is alarming. But
They'll be taken care of.
If you would allow, I would like to take this one back for proper rights.
Sure, and I'll scoop up that one.
Jared was a valiant warrior.
We should probably also wake up the one I left unconscious in my tent.
Okay, so you go wake up the marrow that is unconscious in your tent, and just when he starts to try to lash out at you, Athros stops him and says, Sethic, be still. These have agreed to help us against the Umber Horde.
Get in,
And,
loser, we're going monster hunting.
and Sethic looks at you guys, and then he sort of like flicks his tongue and hisses, You trust these? Are you
You're still alive, aren't
trustworthy?
you?
Fair enough. For now. And he flicks his tongue very close to your eye level, Senta.
Oh, do I need to roll to like just stare straight ahead and not even blink at him?
You can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
You can choose Constitution, Intimidation, Insight.
$17.
17. So you just don't even flinch as he does this. He rears back a little bit and raises his chin. Unexpected. Very well. And he slithers ahead of the rest of you. And you guys will notice they're pretty adept at moving on land just as much as in the water, actually. The two marrows lead you into the bog. Sethic seems more intent on being quick and direct, while Athros makes a point of showing you the pathways that are most solid so that you aren't forced to swim alongside them. And we're going to see if anything interesting happens. So nothing interesting happens as they guide you through the marsh. They actually steer you away from things, and Athros occasionally points out plants that apparently, allegedly, come to life and speak, offering riddles for banes or boons. He'll also point out certain plants that are inherently hostile or perhaps deceptively carnivorous, with very attractive blooms just ripe for the plucking. And on one occasion, he points out what you would be convinced was a plant, and he says is actually a type of reptile and insect that this hybrid creature likes to jump out and attack people, so it's best to steer clear and circumvents it. Until dawn just starts breaking and you find yourselves on the edge of a lake where the marsh just sort of thins out and sprawls into a forest that surrounds this placid blue water painted with hues of pinks and reds as the sun rises over it. And he looks at you and says, I hope you can swim, because we don't have a mage to help.
Got 2 mages.
Athros dives in, and so does Sethic. And the two of them move extremely fast in the water, though you're gathering they're slowing their pace for all of you to try to keep up. So
all
anyone...
Right.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm going to shoot off after them because I'm going to trust this ring to do its job. And if I'm close enough to see where they're going, then everybody else knows where we're going to.
Mm-hmm. All right, you can absolutely do that. Anyone who does not have a swimming speed needs to make an athletics check.
Right.
I figured that was what you were going to say. So before,
good.
Before
Okay.
Strawn steps into the water,
Mm-hmm.
he secures down all his pack and his gear as best as possible. He shakes out his limbs, and I will weave a bull strength into myself, because this
Okay.
is not something I'm going to be good at.
Okay. How does that look for you?
So he basically, as he casts a spell, the rock that's on his face kind of like goes down into his neck, and then you don't see anything, but all of a sudden he just gets a bit bulkier, and if he were to take his shirt off, he'd be coated in stone.
Okay. Interesting. So,
Yes.
oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, Desatricus is gonna look in the sky if there's the faint, stars still in the dawn, and try to
Mhm.
find Shagos's constellation, and think on that, and put his mane up in a tap knot so that he has an advantage on athletics check from enhancing his style.
Okay. So you guys do this. Go ahead and give me those athletics checks.
So instead of a dirty 1, I have a 15.
Very nice.
Thank God for advantage.
I have an 11, and I used my advantage, or used my inspiration to get that 11.
Wow. Okay.
I have advantage, but my first roll was a nat 20 plus 2 is 22.
All right. So Desatricos is elegant in the water, almost like a professional swimmer. As you move along, you see that it seems almost like his manipulation of his hair follicles causes his hair to change to the texture more like a sea otter. So it's oily and slicks back into an aerodynamic position.
Ooh.
You see that Strawn also is just pumping it out like a true athlete. And Gortham,
Donkey paddle.
man, it's more like donkey paddle because you are not used to those hooves being in water.
Yeah.
And it is a little rough. It's a little bit painful to watch. And at a couple points, Athros will swim back to kind of try to help you along. So
I'm going to blame the hooves, but I don't think it's the hooves because horses swim.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Today I learned.
I didn't know that. Yeah, today I learned this. That's interesting. So they guide you through it. At first, this water is murky and you can't hardly see through it. And they dart, and any that miss it, they'll pull you into this outlet in the stone. And you'll see that you're now going through a tunnel. And at this point, this tunnel is long. And it is also it is dark. The marrows seem to not have too much trouble, but you also see them flicking their tongues often. And I need everyone to now make a constitution check. You can call it a saving throw if you want, to try to maintain your breath as you go along this very long corridor.
What
Do
are
I
we doing?
have to?
Constitution check.
Mm-hmm. Oh, or saving throw.
Oh,
Oh, saving
Yeah.
throw.
I
That's
have
much
underwater
that's much
breathing right
different.
now. Steven,
Hmm?
I have underwater breathing right now. Do I still have to?
You don't have to.
Okay.
No.
The
you
dice
are
hate
good.
me
You can
right
just-
now. That was an 8.
I'm
An
gonna
8.
I used
Dave, would
my,
you?
I'm
Sorry.
gonna use my inspiration.
I used my inspiration, and the best I have is a 9.
Oh,
Yeah, I did too, and I got 11.
11.
That's the best I had.
Okay. So you see, Senta, that everyone seems to be struggling just a little bit in this. And so anyone who got
Nick.
below a 12
Breather.
is going to need to make an athletics roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
Senta, what would you like to try to assist someone so they don't have disadvantage?
Yes. Who has the
Okay.
lowest athletic? That's probably going to be Strawn. I'll go back and
Yeah.
help Strawn.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
actually-
don't
you were
help me
kinda-
because I just rolled double 4s.
Okay. Would you like my inspiration point?
So that's a 10.
Okay.
A 10.
Yeah.
I'm not
Shay
sure
go-
how.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say I let Shagos take the wheel, and the bearded mancy canceled out the disadvantage. I got another net 20, 22.
Oh, okay.
So taking away the disadvantage returns my advantage, right?
Yes.
All right. So then I am at an 18.
18. Okay. So you guys managed to come just to the edge, and you feel that Athros and Sethic grab Desatrikos and Strawn and just kind of pull you that little bit more along, just in time for you to crest and break water in utter darkness. But you now can breathe. And unfortunately, Gortham, you see these bubbles just pour from his nostrils, and Senta, you recognize that he starts to sink as he is beginning to lose consciousness. I need you to make a constitution saving throw at disadvantage, Gortham.
All right, let's see. That is a 13.
13. He barely manages to pull through as he also crests and begins choking, and there's just like this mass of water that just expels from his mouth and lungs. As Gortham, you feel your lungs are on fire and your chest is heaving and every breath hurts. But you manage to make it, cresting to the top of the water, and you can now breathe, if only sparingly.
Oh, I finally found the thing I hate more than magic.
So Strawn pulls himself, out of the water, flops down on his on his back. I imagine that it's cold and you can see the breath in the the early night, late night, however you want to look at it. And he just says, "Rocks don't float."
Sethic and Athros exit the water and hiss at you. Quickly! Exit the water before they come.
I crawl
To
out.
the rocks.
And I need those of you who are still in the water, which is Gortham, Desatrikos, and Senta, to make stealth rolls.
Okay.
17.
17. 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Gortham, you exit the water, and while your hoofs do clop just a bit, and there's that little bit of that trickling noise as water's pouring out of your fur, you manage to make it on shore. Senta, you stroke to shore easily. It's not difficult for you. You're keen on swimming, and stealth is your element. It is the fifth element, stealth. And you manage to pull yourself easily from the water. And now you find yourself in darkness. Because you have dark vision, you can see that you are in an air chamber, and it seems that there are branching tunnels further out. And also give me another perception roll as Desatrikos, you are swimming to shore and you're struggling because it's just not something the Aslari do much. Like, your people hail from the deserts and the jungles.
Shagos got me
swimming
this far. I'm happy. I'm fine. He got me through the hard part.
What did you get, Senta?
3.
3. Desatrikos. You hold on. Okay. You take 10 points of slashing damage as you feel these claws rake into your back, and they hook you, and you are immediately pulled under the water again.
You say me?
You are pulled under the water again. And
Can I try and reach in and grab him by his scruff?
it is initiative at this
Sure.
point.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god, my rolls have like been swinging
Oh,
between
man.
abysmal and stupid good tonight.
Same here.
27.
27. Holy cow.
Got +8 to my initiative because of feats.
What have you been feeding your dice, Robin?
I got a big old one.
The souls of poor players. I have an 8.
Okay, so
An 11. Not been great.
okay.
I imagine Strawn is, usually, pretty aware of things that are going on, but he is so winded because I failed that con check. He wasn't even looking in Desatrikos' direction. He just hears the oh and the splash.
Yep. You guys hear the start of like something between a cat yelp and a roar, and it's cut short as sploosh. And you are plunged beneath the water, Desatrikos. Do you have dark vision?
I didn't, but I guess they do. When we were playing for a few sessions, I was like, I don't have dark vision, but I noticed it isn't.
Okay. You see.
I don't know. Did they in your world? I'll go either way.
It looks very similar. They do.
Mhm.
So you see what looks very similar to one of these marrows, except it has this elongated snout, so that instead of it being just like a reptilian muzzle, it's more like a crocodile snout. And where the eyes are, there's actually 8 of them encircling the head. And you see that there are 4 of these webbed arms that have long hook claws that are coming out from the back. And the serpentine tails actually break into 3.
Corrupted marrow, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
A
These
trifer-
are drowners.
Is that a trifurcated tail?
It is. And that is what you see. You are currently accosted by 6.
Whew, okay.
So first up, Senta. You see these creatures under the water, and one of them has gotten hold of Desatrikos and dragged him back under. What are you doing?
All right. Well, I can't be drowned right now, so I'm gonna get in and help him fight.
Okay.
That's gonna be 22 to hit because I've got an ally right there, and then 21 damage. And I would like to use my bonus action to invoke Cruel Intent.
Okay. So go ahead and deal all that damage.
Dab.
So that is what does that look like for you? I'm sorry. You said you just dive in, or how is this?
Yeah, I'm gonna like just dive in, sort of like twist in the water underneath Dasatrikos and like come in and stab at the underbelly because I'm assuming that's probably gonna be softer than the top.
It is, in fact. You do discover that that is the case, and it is Athros and Sethic. So Athros chucks this trident into the water and then dives in after it and hits the same one that you just hit. And you see this black Icarus blood starts pouring through the water. And you would be aware, Senta, just with your keen insight in what you just saw, these people haven't fought these enough to really know how to fight them, as the black inky blood starts pouring like a vaporous mist through the pool, and both of you need to make Constitution saving throws.
Okay. Thank goodness. It was like teetering on like 21.
21.
Hold on, my character sheet just decided it was going to close itself.
Oh, that's not great. Especially when
I
you're
got
in
a
danger.
15 on the die.
Okay, yeah, then you're good. As long as you don't have a negative bonus, you're good.
Okay.
And he also needs to make a save, and he is good. So you see that Athros is charging towards this thing that now has a trident just wedged in its shoulder. Well,
Wow.
one of its
He
four
jumped in
shoulders.
the water to help. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And-
Notable. Noted.
Sethic pulls out this, what at first you couldn't really tell what it was. It actually is a collapsible crossbow. And he takes a bonus action to like flip it and click it into place. And then it self-loads when he does that, and he fires.
Oh, neat.
And misses one of the drowners. And it is the drowner's turn. So one of them is going to go for Athros. Oh, it crit him.
Ooh.
Well.
Hang in there, little
Okay.
guy.
So you watch as this drowner charges at Athros, and he was already hurting from the assault that he incurred from Gortham, as this thing tears his head off and it jabs its face, its crocodilian mouth, into the body and starts chomping, stretching the skin and ripping it.
Well, at least
as
we know he
it's
won't
eating
turn.
him. And then another one is going to attack Senta.
Bring it on.
13 versus your armor class.
That doesn't quite hit.
Okay, so it lunges with this claw, and as it does, and misses just out of range. You find you're very dodgy in the water, actually. And
Like you're magically adapted to it.
Desatrikos,
Uh-huh.
does a 12 hit your armor class?
Wow, no! I was just expecting it hit all the time. No,
Okay.
13. Thanks to the Emperor's robe, I believe.
The others are still too far out to attack at this time. So,
Okay.
Gortham, you're up. What are you doing?
I really don't want to go back in that water. I don't like it. Is there any light?
There is no light. You'll have to make your own light.
There'll be light soon.
That's not really my thing. I'm gonna throw a javelin in the direction of the turmoil.
Okay, you have disadvantage, but throw that javelin.
Yeah, I was gonna have disadvantage. Oh man, the javelin doesn't hurt these things though. That is an 11 with disadvantage.
11 with disadvantage does not hit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Senta, this javelin actually streaks past your head.
And
narrowly
if it
missing
matters,
you.
that was a 1.
Oh, actually. It nicks you for a point of damage.
Oh, it's okay. I can afford to take a point of damage.
That's BS. I
And-
can't do a point of damage.
As long as I
you
don't get
get
any
2
sludge
attacks.
in the open wound.
Oh yeah, I do get 2 attacks.
Uh-huh.
I was busy reveling in my failure. Well, that's another 11.
Another 11.
You know what that
Okay.
also means.
Yep.
I had to roll another one.
Senta. Oh no, this one's Dacitricos. Takes 2 damage from a javelin that nicks you.
2 damage. All right.
Oh,
got it.
man. D&D Beyond hates me tonight.
Strawn, you're up.
All right. So how many of these things are there?
There are 6 in total, but 4 of them have not reached you yet. Do you have dark vision or any way to adapt to that?
No,
Okay.
but I'm about to create light.
Okay.
So the one that I can see,
Mm-hmm.
preferably one that is near or grappling with one of my friends,
Uh-huh.
I will call down from that lovely orb in the sky, and I will cast a moonbeam.
Okay.
So it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
So you see what looks like this image of the moon itself just appears within this closed chamber, and a beam shoots from it. And it got a 6.
So that's going to be. It doesn't happen to be a shape changer, does it?
Actually, all Umber Horde are technically shape changers.
Okay. So a shape changer makes a saving throw with disadvantage. If it fails, it also instantly reverts to original form and can't assume a different form until it leaves the spell's light. But it takes 11 points of radiant damage.
11. Oh, and it's vulnerable to radiant. So that is
So
double.
22.
All right.
So there you go. And it, the beam stays there. So if it starts its turn there, it's gonna take damage, and anything that moves into that light will do so as well.
Okay. Actually, that's an area effect, isn't it?
It's a 5-foot area.
You could have caught both of them.
Well, then I will
So,
gladly do so.
yeah, the other one takes, do you just want to say the same damage?
Yeah, I would say it's
All right. So the other one also takes 22 because it failed.
Sweet.
And Desatricos, you're up. You have a gaping wound in your back right now.
Gaping wound. Why did I take that 22?
Because of the javelin.
Oh,
No, when it first raked you.
Oh.
When it first appeared and it lacerated your back.
did it do damage to me? I don't
Yes,
remember you
it
telling me
did.
that. Oh, how much? I missed that. I'm
I
sorry.
think it was 10, 11,
Oh,
something like
okay.
that.
I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
We'll say 10.
Okay, how many of these things are there?
There's 6, but 2 in melee range of you.
That's 6 altogether,
Mm-hmm.
and they were trying to grab me and pull me under.
Yep.
Then I am going to spend 3 sorcery points to heighten Feared, and my main projects a phantasmal image of its true beardomantic nature, and all creatures that I choose in 30 feet cone must succeed on a wisdom saving throw of DC 14, except the one closest to me, which has disadvantage.
Okay.
If they fail, they're restrained in terrible awe of my phantasmal mane for up to a minute, and they can make a
Okay.
saving throw at the end of their turn.
So you want me to roll for each individual or all together?
Whatever you want. I mean, one of them has
Okay.
disadvantage, just doesn't heighten it. The one.
All right. So
That's up to you. I don't care. Whatever.
the one
seems-
who had disadvantage got a 9.
Okay.
So it is restrained by these tendrils of terror.
It's actually just a phantasmal projection of my mane that
Oh,
terrifies them.
okay. And
It's like feared and beard, or fear and beard.
17 for the others.
Yeah, that they make it. But at least the one's restrained in terrors. So I'm just gonna try to swim back to the surface.
Is
Okay.
the one restrained in the light?
Yes, it is. It is, in fact.
All right.
And it is now the end of the round, and you watch Senta, and it's a little blood curdling as you see that the crocodile head then spews back out this black ichor along with Athros's head.
Oh, God.
And it reattaches, and he starts growing extra limbs.
God damn it.
And his tail starts splitting.
I knew it. I knew you spoke way too soon.
Okay.
And Senta, you're up. Your turn.
Well, I'm not about to let that happen to my boy, so I pre-roll, if that's fine with you.
Yeah,
I
that's
nat
fine.
20 for 40 damage.
Ooh, okay, on which one?
On our friend that I'm not going to let turn into a monstrosity.
Okay, describe how you obliterate him.
I'm just gonna come up behind him and like remove his head, like as respectfully as I possibly can. I'm just gonna be like, no, you rest now.
Is that with your silver dagger?
Yeah.
All right, the wound silvers, and he ends up slumping back before fully transforming, and just the corpse starts sinking below into the darkness.
Ooh, can I try to catch it and drag it back up? Because I know that they have funeral rites.
Yes, you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
She whispered in the ear, I respectfully want you to die.
It's like when your
And-
buddy's turning into a zombie, man.
Sethic is going to reload his crossbow and fire and miss. He is bad at things. Wow.
I just
A
watched
lot
his
of
friend
talk
get
and not a
his
lot
head
else.
torn off.
Twice.
The Drowner's turn. So the Drowner Acolyte comes up and it casts at Gortham. Gortham, you have advantage because of your feet, but I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
So how close to me is it?
60 feet.
All right, so it's a ways away.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You see that these shadows begin coalescing and swirling, and they rise up almost like ink and start trying to whip at you with these acidic tendrils.
That's a 14.
14 makes it. So you do not take any damage from this acidic vortex, as it is. And then we are going to have another of the Drowner Acolytes also attack you because you are clearly the biggest threat at this point. That is... Oh, wait, you have to roll a saving throw. I'm sorry. That's another dexterity save. I don't know why I rolled for them.
Which of us are you talking to?
Gortham.
Oh, another dexterity save?
Yep, another one.
All right. Did I take damage from that attack?
No, you did not, because that was a cantrip. This one is a proper spell, though.
Okay, that is a 20.
20. Okay, so you are going to take half damage.
So
10.
I technically got hit by it, right?
Yes, you did.
But I didn't fail the save. Am I able to spell eat?
Yes, you can.
I will spell eat, so then I'll take half of the half.
Okay, so that's 5 instead of 10.
And I will get a rage back.
All right. So you see as Gortham shouts and this these tattoos begin glowing and they warp to black as they start vacuuming in this spell into the tattoos. And your eyes are now inky black, Gortham, for the time being.
Uh-oh.
And Drowner's gonna rake at Senta. That is a dirty 20.
I can impose disadvantage on that with my reaction.
Because of your cruel intent.
Okay.
So it is going to rake the other one instead for 12 damage. So the other one takes 12 damage, which is almost enough to kill it. It's really hurting right now. It is very hurting. And the other one is going to attack you, Senta, seeing that it was going for you. That is an 18.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
I can't do that twice.
5 slashing damage.
All right, 5's fine.
And that is their round. The others are coming, and they will be at you now. So you have 2 out of the water and 4 in the water. And the 2 of them can't attack because they had to dash to get to you. So Gortham, you're up. You have Spellyton, and you have 2 acolytes looking at you.
But they're far away though, right?
Yes, they are Umber Horde acolytes, and they are terrifying.
So they're 60 feet away in the water.
Mm-hmm. No, they're out of the water now. They came up out of the water to catch you.
Oh, then I will rage as a bonus
Okay.
action, and use pounce, instinctive pounce as well.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Which lets me move half my speed as part of that bonus action when I rage.
Oh my
Ooh,
god.
Wow, nice.
And then I'm going to charge
Okay.
in between the 2 acolytes, and I'm gonna do axe swingy things now.
Okay.
Oh, finally, that's a 30 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
Alrighty. Let's see. That's gonna be 13 plus, so that's 19 plus. That's 28 from that swing.
How do you want to decimate that particular spellcaster?
He's gonna lop off the head, but question: does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit, actually. It's exactly what you need.
So as he swings through, taking the head, he spins the axe sideways and slams the head and the axe into the other one.
Oh! For how much damage, dare I ask?
Only 18.
18. Okay. Wow. So you completely lop off the head of the one, smash the head and the axe into the other one, and it is bloodied. This black syrupy ichor just pouring out of this gaping wound in its side right now. And it yells and hisses. And as it does, you can see that these things that wear blindfolds that actually look like they're made of stretched face skin.
Oh,
And you can see that they have like armor made out of bones.
So, as I do that, I kind of like spit in its face and say, "I dare you to try that again."
And that is going to be your round?
Yeah,
Yes?
that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Strawn, you are up.
All right. So is there anything still in the area of light?
Yes.
All right,
There are 2 things. Actually, no, all of them are in the area of light because they have no self-preservation.
all right. So then that's con saves at disadvantage.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for each or roll all at once?
It's your call.
All right, I'll just roll all at once so it's faster. Natural 1 for everybody.
I rolled crat for damage, so that's 7, so it doubles to 14.
Okay. So 14 damage, and one of them is now obliterated.
And then that was just the effect I'm concentrating on. I will. You said that, so they're clustered together.
They are right now on
Right, so-
Senta.
All right, so I have an ice knife that's gonna hit things, any creature within 5 feet. So I want to try and aim it so it's gonna be at one that'll hit multiple but won't hit Senta. Is that
Okay.
possible?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right, so all right, just need to make sure it's a spell attack. It's gonna be a 22 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
So it will take. It takes 3 piercing damage, but then
Okay.
it explodes. So that creature and any creature
Oh.
within 5 feet has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Dexterity saving. And they have disadvantage because they're in the light, right?
No, they only have disadvantage on the saving throw for that spell.
Okay, I see. I gotcha. 12?
Nope, it's 15, so they take a further 10 cold damage.
Okay, ouch. So 10 for all of them, and then the other one took an additional what? I'm sorry, 7?
3 piercing.
13. Okay. All right, so Destrikos, you're up.
So
You're on the shore.
Okay, good. And how far away is the Gortham and that acolyte?
They're 60 feet away from you.
All right, then I'll use all my movement to move 35 feet towards them, and I'll.
Okay.
God, my cat just clawed into my finger.
Oh
you know,
no!
Like, I catch you, or like.
Love hurts.
That broke the skin. Anyways, and I'm gonna just produce my green flame and chuck it at him.
Okay, man, I was like, Doug's really getting into this role play here.
I was like, you know how their claw just like gets right in. All right, let's see. My cat was getting into it.
Oh, okay. Cat's getting into it.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna roll it because dirty 20.
Dirty 20. That absolutely hits. Roll your damage.
Right, so it's 2d8 green flame. 10.
10. All right. How do you want to destroy this thing that was already hurting?
Yeah, so Gortham had just bashed it with the flat of his axe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just reeling and maybe staggered back a bit, and I just take that opportunity to like summon this ball of green flame, and it illuminates the otherwise dark cavern chamber and just hits it right in the chest and immolates it in green flame.
Okay, and the streak of green light explodes on this creature, which now is still embering and smoldering. Thus, you have a light source. It is dim light, but there's a light source now in this chamber. And Senta, you're up. There are 3
All right,
left
what's
on
left
you.
in the water?
3.
Cool. I'm just gonna target one of them. It's 23 to hit for 22 damage.
Absolutely. And yes, that one. Describe how you kill it.
Straight up the soft underbelly, through the ribs, into the throat, spilling organs.
Okay, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. Okay, so my first roll was a nat 20. I know I'm not gonna do better than that. Okay, 15 is not bad. That's 17 total.
Okay, you make it. So you resist the corruption, and you completely eviscerate one of them. So there are 2 left.
Worth it.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
Oh, I can use my bonus action because I didn't have to in order to get advantage because I've got Sethek next to me. I want to give Sethek advantage on his attack this round.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you are getting out. Sethek is going to have advantage. He needs it.
Yeah, he needs a win.
And he still fails with the 12.
Oh, poor Sethek.
You got it.
Okay, we'll train him better.
I feel his pain.
He is
Set you
failing
up, buddy.
Man, okay. All right, Sethek is real bad at this. All right, drowners, here we go. One is going to attack Sethek, actually.
We're trying to make an alliance with these people, and so far we've watched 2 of them die.
Oh, boy.
One possibly because he was so beat up from us, and then when he tried to save.
So the one drowner slithers away from you, Senta, disengaging with a bonus action, and claws into Sethek's chest and rips his heart out.
Hold on, no, I can impose disadvantage on that. I still have a reaction.
Okay, well, you see it's gonna hit, so you gotta disadvantage if you're gonna disadvantage because it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Plunging its hand.
We need at least one of them, otherwise we're gonna show up with these marrow and they're gonna be like, "What are you doing here? We're gonna kill you."
We've got these bodies for you.
Brought him back for proper burial. That's how good we
That was better than his first roll.
Damn it.
That's Dark
So-
Fantasy,
There's nothing
y'all.
else I can do. I tried.
So
Play Dark
Sethek
Fantasy.
has his heart literally ripped out of his chest, and the creature then digs its snout into the chest cavity and starts chomping. And you see this Icarus black sludge just gooping into it as it's going. And
that looks a little bit worse than what cure wounds can fix.
Another one is going for Senta. 13.
Nope.
Okay. And the last one is going to get out of the water and help the acolytes that are now destroyed.
Wait, just to be clear, the one that was in the light was also restrained with fear. Did he pass?
Oh, it was. You're right. Oh, that was the one that died. That was the one.
Oh,
that died.
okay.
So
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
This one crawls out of the water and tries to attack Gortham with a 14. Okay, so it slashes and just misses you. And Gortham, you're up.
All right. He looks over at the dead acolytes. Is really sad that they didn't get to cast any more spells at me. And recklessly swings at this guy.
Okay.
That's a 30 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
Close.
There's no way that hits. Yes, that hits.
That would hit anything in the official in the game.
For 26 points of damage.
26. How do you want to kill this thing?
As it comes in at him, Gortham spins around to the backside and like golf swings with his axe, starting at the tip of the tri-tail, splitting the tail all the way up, and like rakes it all the way up its spine and the back of its skull, and just flays the whole thing.
All right, it smells like rotten fish.
Was it just the one that charged me?
Yep, it was just the one.
Is there any more left?
There are 2 left in the water.
You know what?
So-
Gortham will charge and jump in the water, overhand chopping at one of them.
Okay.
He's enraged! Recklessly swinging so that I don't have disadvantage.
Okay.
Fudge me. Do we stack inspiration in your game?
You can have more than one, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna use the other one,
Okay.
and dirty 20. All right.
Dirty 20. That hits.
So dirty.
The damage is terrible though. It's only 10 points.
How do you want to kill it?
Oh, well, I guess I just like jump in the water and just right in its skull. It just sticks.
There's one still fighting Senta, and Gortham, you destroy it. And for a split second, you meet Senta's gaze before you realize you are now sinking because of your axe.
Yeah.
And Strawn, you're up.
Okay, so there's one left.
One left in the water, and Gortham, you see he starts to sink because your moonbeam is illuminating the area.
Yeah. How far away is the creature from the moonbeam?
It is 10 feet.
All right. So I want to position myself and pull. I want to use Thorn Whip and pull the creature out of the water into the light.
Okay.
So that is going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Thorn Whip does 2d6 damage. So that is going to be 7 points of damage.
Okay. Describe how this creature dies when it hits the moonbeam.
So basically, the radiant light just basks upon the scales, and you watch as the ichor just begins to like bleed out of it. It's like coming through every little orifice and scale and what have you, and for just the briefest moment, it looks like it's trying to change it back into a regular marrow.
Okay.
It's cool.
And then it's dead. Gortham, make an athletics check to not sink to your doom.
26.
26. You easily
I actually
swim,
critted that,
grabbing
so.
onto the rock. Yeah, you grab a piece of rock and find your way to climb like a mountain despite the water resistance and get out.
I was a little less concerned because I'm raging. Just
And
a little less. I've
Senta,
rolled so
you
many
can also-
double 4s and 3s and 4s and 2s and 3s and 1s.
I feel bad.
It was a lot.
If we're playing
lot
the
of
age,
fun.
if we were playing age system, you'd be kicking ass.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Senta, you can get up on shore as well. So you're
All right,
safe.
can I drag Sethek's body also?
You can absolutely drag Sethek's body.
Okay, because we've got 3 dead Marrow, and those are the only bargaining chips we have for these guys actually listening to us at this point.
Now, I know you described the visuals. I have magical healing. Are either of the 2 that died anywhere chance of being?
Turns out you don't need a heart nor a head.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It's like chewing into his
No,
rib.
they are not salvageable. And actually, I'm just gonna say because
we
it's
can
over
differentiate this.
time, you guys do manage to just prevent the other one from turning, so Sethek doesn't turn
Yeah,
as
I was.
well.
Do the
That was
bodies
my-
of the drowned stay?
The drowners, yeah, they stay just where they are, like they sink if they were in the water.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we should take some heads so that we can prove we killed them.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
as long as like you cauterize the edge with
Mhm.
green flame, and we protect ourselves, and we burn whatever the bodies
Yes.
that came up, so that they don't further poison anything.
So you do you manage to decapitate and collect 4 heads. So you have 4 heads to present to the Marrows when you see them next session. You guys find yourselves in a dark cave. There are a couple of branching paths, but you now have no guide to get you to the
Very
Marrows.
interesting.
Perfect.
And that's where we're going to cut it for
all right.
tonight.
Thank you, Steven. Thank
Yeah,
you
really.
for everyone for the game. And thank you, people, for hanging out with us in the chat and watching along and chatting along. But until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.
Stay nerdy.